I start the furnace around 9 o'clock. We anticipate it'll take us about 2.5 to 3 hours to get to temperature for the bronze, and that temperature will be 2,150 degrees max. During that time, we're also now preparing the foundry, and in doing that, we make sure that everything's cleared out of the way so that there's nothing anyone can trip on. Everything is exactly in the place we need it to be. We open up the sand pit and we dig that out, and then we slowly begin to pull the investments out of the burnout kiln, taking them, vacuuming them out to get any debris or anything that might have gotten caught up in them, and then we pack them in the sand. So once we get to temperature, we shut down, and then the pour team is basically in charge. The process itself hasn't really changed very much. At the end of the day, what you have is a really big flame, and you get it really hot and you melt the metal. It's actually, I think it's rather unusual to have pardon me, a foundry, at an institution of our size. Usually, the larger research institutions will have them to have it. And that's another thing that I think is really interesting about the process of bronze casting in terms of the teaching of sculpture, is it demands the transition from one material to another. So within one process and within one project, you see what you've done in a variety of materials. When you make a mold around something, it's sort of like if you think about putting a mitten over something, like you kind of know that there are fingers under there and you sort of have the outline of fingers, but they're muted as a form. And then you go from your original material to, to the wax, to investing it again in this cylinder. At the same time, you're going from a positive to a negative to a positive to a negative, which demands several conceptual shifts in terms of how you conceive of a form existing in space. And I think all of those things are wildly useful in terms of teaching sculpture and helping one to understand the variety of ways that a form comes to exist and how it sits in the world. Just gives our students a really great opportunity to do something that if they were to do outside of here costs thousands of dollars. I mean, it's wildly expensive to have a sculpture done in a commercial gallery. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you're stuck with it. If you don't like it here, we can just throw it in the crucible next pour, and you have the option of doing something else.